Welcome back to the PAC Sports Network here for our halftime show as we are at the break between Westminster and Allegheny. And we're now joined by the head women's basketball coach for Westminster, Coach Rosanne Scott. Coach, as always, thanks for joining us. Exciting to be back for some PAC hoops, but want to get into the early season of play, the non-conference slate, if you will. What have been some of those early season takeaways you've had leading up to PAC play?
Well, I think what we've taken away from that is that we've been in some very close games early, which has given our team a good game experience with having a close game and those situations. And on the other side of it, we've had a game where we kind of got blown out there, and the next day we turned around and got it together, and the resiliency from the one day to the next was very very. We're very proud to see that for them respond from like a blowout, then to come back and take care of business the next day. So it was good to kind of see some maturity early on in the season for us, and getting a lot of experience with the non-conference and being able to have those more non-conference games early in the season. Now with having the North and South division has helped us, especially with how our team is right now.
And you mentioned some of the early trials and tribulations of the season. Still a young team, but kind of a unique situation when everyone was young last year, everyone played, and now you have experienced young players. So in other ways, maybe off the court during practice, how have you seen that experience, some of that leadership really shine through for, again, players that are still sophomores and juniors?
Yeah, it's the work ethic, like they're bought in, they're a hardworking group, whether it's in the weight room, in the gym, individual workouts, film sessions, like they want to get better, and they want to and they want to learn. And that's one thing that we could tell even with the younger, and we have some great leadership right now with our senior and our two juniors that we have that is helping leading that way. But it's been, they want to get better. And that's one thing you can't ask for more than that for them right now.
Well, one of those key returners in Katie Mario returns as your top 3-point specialist and shooting the lights out again to start the season. How have you seen her game grow in the last year, especially when, let's face it, as a shooter, everyone knows what you're going to do, but I'm sure she's probably prepared for that and has probably gotten ready for that coming into this PAC season.
Yeah, and it's just learning how, like how teams are going to defend her, and her now understanding that, and her looking to do different things off of that. Or, if they're hugging you up on the screen, we want you to look to do this, and just kind of understanding that aspect of the game. Because, it's just not about standing on the 3-point line, getting open shots, because they're not going to let her do that. So it's, sprinting harder in transition to get down there off of a miss, and then reading the defense. But I feel like with this year helping her out is we have a lot of people surrounding her that that can score. So you just can't hone on Katie anymore. You got to hone on everybody to make sure. So that kind of opens up her game a little bit too.
And one of those scorers that returns from last year, Maddie Syka, who averaged about 12 points per game on the season, also a really good rebounder. What kind of role do you expect to see from her in her second year at Westminster?
Yeah, we expect big things from her. She's coming off, she had ankle surgery. So she's coming off of the rehab of that. She's kind of only been a couple weeks really into the process. So we're looking for her to continue to get better, and adjust to that. So that's right now where she's at as a player right now. But we expect, we know she could score, and we're expecting, her to come in and get right back into it.
You also added a little boost to the post presence. You bring back Grace Kano, but then you also add Katie Grexa, transfer from Lake Erie. Curious to hear from you how those two have played off of each other and how you kind of anticipate those two, especially where you could maybe have a high-low or bring in that extra length down low defensively.
Yeah, it really spreads out the floor for us. Gretzka's she rebounds well. She could drive the basket well, and she could defend post player. So she's a hard matchup to have on for us offensively, and it opens things up for Kano on the block. If they're going to double down off of her, we have backside. We're able to flash. We're able to get some, like I said, we have now four people besides, that could score and execute on that. So you got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to do defensively with us bringing that in. Our freshman Jenna coming in off the bench too as a post presence has really been a key too in that mix with our posts. So we're very pleased with how she's performing on that end too.
With this added scoring, how much did that change your approach offensively coming into the year, if at all?
Just trying to look for different actions. So yeah, it has changed our approach. We could definitely play a lot more faster than we have in the past. Right now, I guess our scoring average doesn't show that we could score that many points right now, but we definitely have that ability. And it's also just, them getting to know each other. We have freshman starter. We still have freshmen coming in off the bench as our first sub. So it's just them still getting used to each other and knowing each other's quirks too. But we could see it every day in practice, getting better and then reading each other and feeding off each other.
And then I feel the glue of it all, Kennedy Arison at the point guard position just runs the show for you so well. Where have you seen her game grow? But also, where have you seen her maybe grow in terms of her voice and being that leader as that, let's face it, the quarterback of the offense?
She's been a great leader. From last year, this year, the confidence, I think is what I see the difference of her. She's out there. She's confident. She's talking. She's coaching out there. And in the past, she would maybe second guess herself. And this year, she's really has taken on this role. And, as a point guard, you have to be that leader, and she has really done a great job in the locker room, off the court, on the court, doing that. And even having another freshman point guard too, with Bella coming in and starting, like she's kind of helped her, helping each other out there in that role, it's been really great to see her mentoring Bella too.
Well, Coach, certainly very excited to see how this season plays out for the Titans, especially with such a young, talented core group of players. But before we let you run, just curious to hear from you what you think will be the key for this team this year in making a deep run in the PAC and returning to the PAC tournament.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot, even the beginning of the year. We went over our team goals and our game goals. And one thing that we talked about is the consistency. I think having a younger team still, you're even a veteran team, you're going to have your peaks and valleys. And the one thing we really talked about is being consistent, showing up at practice, being consistent in the weight room, being consistent in, your actions as a teammate, and just also enjoying the ride. Sometimes teams forget to have fun together. It's like that grind out. It's like the same. And we really kind of preach that too. Like, and they really do enjoy each other, and they are a fun group, and to having that, but just being consistent and, seeing where we end up is, I'm excited to see. It's going to be a tough, our division's tough. The South division's tough, and it's going to be fun, but I'm also excited to see how resilient they are this year, and being able to stay consistent and not get too high and not get too low, and focus on what the work is ahead of us, and each one game at a time. So that's what, our mindset is, and just taking one game at a time so we don't get ahead of ourselves.
Well, we here at the PAC Sports Network certainly thrilled to see you and Westminster back in action this year. Coach, as always, thanks for your time today and good luck this season.
Thank you.
That's Westminster women's basketball coach Rosanne Scott. Stick with us as we'll have the second half of today's game between Westminster and Allegheny coming up next on the PAC Sports Network.